want to hear about you.
Huh? Me?
Yeah.
Jeez, Sam, where do I start?
Start with the best part.
Took a long time for him to get out of this game.
Yeah, he's meant for this life.
You really believe that?
Nathan, we were meant for this. You and me together. We're gonna go far.
I don't even care about the treasure.
If you're done lying to me, then you should stop lying to yourself.
How long we been chasing this thing, huh? You and me.
You do what you have to do.
No offense to these guys, but they don't get it.
Nathan Drake has had a thrilling life, to say the least, but not even he can chase relics and thwart death forever. So he's found a kind of quiet happiness at home with wife Elena, and a solid, completely above-board steady job.
Gonna stink like fish for a week.
Yeah, he doesn't miss the thrill of adventure at all.
Immediately commented about how rude the smog was, that it was like shock to the lungs, like the second that you got off the plane.
But despite being committed to his new life, when his long-lost brother Sam turns up out of the blue, things get complicated.
I need you on this one.
Sam, there's got to be another way.
Sam is in the kind of trouble that only a hoard of legendary pirate treasure can fix. Yar, it looks like adventure calls again.
Yarr, skibbity, yarr, yarr. There's something great about that one last job, isn't there?
We're rich.
It's bittersweet for both Nathan and us, because as he reminisces on all the adventures he's had, we have been right there on that journey with him.
Climbed your big brother some years back.
Oh, it's so emotional, isn't it? And you're right, each memory, we were there, we made it happen, we felt every loss and triumph. And Nolan North has done such a great job of bringing this character to life over the years that I feel like I know Nate, he's a part of all of us.
Well, with no time to waste, you and your brother set off in search of a mythical pirate utopian city known as Libertalia.
Yes, and in true Uncharted tradition, you'll follow an elaborate trail of clues and towers and tombs that see you bouncing all over the globe. From Panama
Here we go.
to Italy to Scotland
A hop, skip, and a jump away.
and Madagascar.
That's the first thing I looked up when we said we were heading for a volcano. That and where to rent the cheapest 4x.
Hex, my eyes, they were melting out of my face with that scenery.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it, it's too beautiful.
I found it distracting. All I wanted to do was slow pan and take screenshots and just drink in all the majesty of the landscapes I was presented with. The graphics in this game took my breath away so many times that I think I just actually stopped breathing at one point.
There's just so much detail everywhere, so much detail. And all the character animations are better than ever and expertly captured with such subtlety and nuance.
Yes, even the eyes now, they look real.
Who's to say he didn't?
Yeah, and in particular, the animations and AI behavior are just magnificent. Nathan is rarely alone in this game. He always has someone with him, and that means conversations and stories unravel through dialogue as you drive, chase, fight, climb, and explore. In most video games, AI companions are usually annoying, but in Uncharted, you love them.
Yes, and they are never in your way.
Holy shit!
Plus, I love how conversations will pause for bouts of action or enemy encounters and then just pick up right where you left off.
Sully, you were saying?
Oh, yeah, right. So, Alcazar was the go-between.
What was he like?
A lot of that character interaction was developed really well in The Last of Us, and I can see how much of that sophistication and movement has been transferred into this game.
Everything all right?
And this is the way Naughty Dog nails the storytelling. The cutscenes are incredible, cinematic, and often lengthy pieces of film that are a joy to watch. I always looked forward to them.
You have any idea what I put on the line to get you here? How about what I put on the line? okay? The last 15 years of my life.
This has nothing to do with that.
It has everything to do with that.
But so much of the story is told through experiences and conversations that Nate shares with his companions as they travel together too.
Yeah, and all that surreal and fluid. This time around, it was kind of surreal how you're taking control of these actors and walking through this massive story.
So, did Sully fill you in on the deal with this place?
Yep. Henry Avery, 400 million, 12 founders, hundreds of colonists.
And similar to The Last of Us, there are optional little moments you can trigger in the environment to further explore the narrative too, and I just love that.
Not a bad view.
Hey, you ever wonder, like, with different choices, how we might have ended up?
So much of that dialogue is there to naturally guide you through this environment too and help suggest where to go next. I think the level design is the real hero of this game. So many little visual cues, like scratches on the wall. Somehow they've made all of your anchor points blend in even more than the last game. And I love how for a lot of this game, you're always moving past the point of no return, you know, just driving you forwards mentally and physically.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that the game is crafted in a way that makes it almost feel open world with multiple paths to take. And yet you always seem to find your way to where you need to end up. Even in those fast-paced sequences of high action.
And if you're ever unsure of where to go next or how to solve a puzzle, then the characters will tell you with casual suggestions to one another.
I mean, there's too many permutations.
I say we see where that door leads.
Yeah, and that's another benefit of having an AI companion, isn't it? Nate doesn't always have to be thinking out loud to himself. And you even solve puzzles together, which is wonderful.
Come on back to this side, I'll weigh it down.
But as well as working on a practical level, it also helps solidify the characters' bond, particularly between Sam and Nate. There are so many moments where they work together to save one another from the clutches of death.
You good?
Sam is played by Troy Baker, who was also Booker in BioShock Infinite and Joel in The Last of Us. And is one of the few mocap and voice actors out there with the chops to rival Nolan North.
He's double-crossed people in the past, but not us.
No, not you.
Troy did such a good job, and it was incredible and believable seeing them together as brothers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was very impressive that they managed to introduce essentially an entirely new character in the final game, and yet had us feeling immediately emotionally invested in the relationship between him and Nate. And that's achieved through good writing, fantastic performances, and also by having us play through those memories of the brothers as children.
Ooh, you gotta learn to watch your back.
All right.
Hey, it's good to see you, little brother. What is that? Really? Again?
It's nothing.
You told me you'd stay out of trouble, though.
Yeah, and it's so important for us to play through those memories and experience it ourselves, rather than just watching it in a cutscene. Because really, having a long-lost brother is a pretty convenient story device, and yet they handled it expertly.
Yeah, but it's not just about Nate and Sam's relationship, it's also about the relationship between Nate and Elena.
I love Elena.
You know, I forgot. Pretty good at this.
And Emily Rose gives such an incredibly real and subtle performance in this.
Well, I mean, this is a lifestyle they both made the decision to leave behind them, so this trip really tests their relationship, their marriage. I mean, you can cut the tension with a knife.
Thanks for saving me. Again.
I almost didn't this time.
Right.
Come on. I got us a ride.
Naughty Dog have made a conscious and deliberate shift to do more storytelling with this Uncharted. And it is a big shift, but I think it's still balanced. There's still plenty of action, of course. It wouldn't be Uncharted without it.
Be careful.
There's wild weather and gunfights and explosions galore. But I didn't feel like there were any of those long, drawn-out cover sections. They got really repetitive in previous games.
Yeah, I agree. They've been much more creative, not only in the way they've designed the gunfights themselves, but in the way they break them up into shorter bursts of enemy engagement.
We also saw with the remastered Uncharted collection that they adjusted the difficulty settings, and that's carried over here. There's now an Explorer mode if you just want to enjoy the story, and 4 difficulty settings from there. There's also a pretty hefty aim assist.
Oh, it's so good to have aim assist. Although I will say it probably makes things a little bit too easy if you have it on.
Yeah, I'm glad it's there, but once I turned it off, I had a lot more fun. It just removed all the challenge for me.
Yeah, I mean, really what I want is something that's going to guide me within a general ballpark of the target. But this, like, snaps you to the nearest enemy, so you can't miss. Just a bit of middle ground would have been ideal.
Yeah, like the way GTA 5 or The Division do it, where you've got that room for movement to aim for headshots. But overall, the shooting is heaps better, and that's mostly because enemies don't soak up an entire clip before they go down. Took them 4 games to get it right, Hex, but they finally did it.
Yeah, but the point to make is here that they've given you so many options to customize the difficulty that you can play this and have a good time with as much or as little challenge as you like. Which is amazing.
I enjoyed the emphasis on stealth in this game too. Marking targets works well, and you can even get through some areas without engaging the enemy at all. I really enjoyed all this stealth, especially when you can throw a grenade to distract everyone and make a quick getaway.
I'm going over this way.
I think I lost him.
It's great that you have these stealth options now too, because Drake has always been painted as this roguish hero, and then it's kind of glossed over that he murders hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of goons.
Yeah, goons are people too. There were definite echoes of Assassin's Creed in the way you hide in long grass and took enemies down on the sly. And I feel like you're always encouraged to at least try the stealth route first.
Yeah, but it's never forced on you.
No, it's more about giving Nathan the intention of at least trying to reduce bad guy casualties.
He does snap a lot of necks though. It's always a tricky thing in action games for developers to try and balance that, and I think maybe they could have done a better job of setting up these goons as being particularly evil, but you just kind of have to let it go.
Yeah, another thing we should mention is just how much fun it is to make your way through these changing environments. You are dropped into some of the most awe-inspiring parts of the world, and then given the ultimate gamer gift of a grapple to swing from, and it honestly just feels like Christmas.
Yes, Nathan must be the strongest man in the world because he spends about 50% of this game hanging from rocks. But that's great because as a mechanic, it's just so much fun.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. And there is just the right amount of puzzle, timing, and agility worked into these climbing sections to make them challenging but never frustrating or repetitive.
No, you're never really doing anything in this game for too long at a time. It's constantly changing up, so you stay 100% engaged. And how about those vehicle sections?
Oh man, churning through rivers and mud and trying to get a four-wheel drive up muddy slopes. It was such a marvelous change of pace. And even the wonderful detail of having to physically wrap a winch around a tree to hoist your car up a hill.
There, that ought to do it. Steady.
There is also multiplayer, but it wasn't live at the time of review. However, Nick Boy did check out the beta a while back, so you can go online there and see how that plays.
Yeah, if you do just stick to the story though, Uncharted games are always meaty offerings, and this is no exception, so you'll be on this ride for quite a while. I mean, would you say around 15 hours?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely longer than the other games. And I was always getting the sense of it about to wrap up, and then suddenly I'm off on a plane to some other part of the world.
I know, and yet I was so acutely aware of the fact that this is the last game in Drake's story that I just didn't want it to end, so I was glad they gave me so much. That said, it was so exciting and I was so invested that once I started this, I just couldn't stop, and I ended up playing this through till 5:30 in the morning. It's been a long time since I've done that, Baju, and it takes a special game.
Yeah, it is a special game. It's also a very, very clever game. The polish, the level of polish here is unprecedented. But what I like most about this game is that it pulled me right into their world. I was right there with those characters on this epic adventure. I'm giving it 5 out of 5.
I mean, this delivers everything that anyone who's ever loved the Uncharted series could hope for. True fan service and the ultimate respect to those who've been on this adventure from the very beginning. I mean, in many ways, Uncharted 4 embodies Sir Francis Drake's infamous motto, Sic Parvis Magna, greatness from small beginnings. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 as well.
Do you remember the theory that we had that Sir Francis Drake faked his own death?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, he did.
Off the coast of Panama?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, now get this. Okay, I open it up, right? And there's no body. But the bottom is his old journal. Are you shitting me?